Joe Becker will take. It is a time-honored tradition on Memorial Day weekend. Thousands of people take time to pay their respects to loved ones who have died. For families of veterans, it's an especially poignant year. News Channel 8's Kelly Love is here to explain. Kelly?
Carl, that's in part because of the Gulf War, which has claimed 180 American lives. This has also triggered some old memories for many combat veterans of the last 60 years. Military families salute those servicemen and women who have died. Their graves line the Willamette National Cemetery for miles. Opal Tom comes here to decorate her uncle's grave. This year, she visits her great-nephew Brandon Tobler's grave. The 19-year-old serviceman died in Iraq 2 months ago. He is buried here along with Marines Cedric Bruns and Aaron Contreras. They're among the 180 Americans who died in the Gulf War.
I honor them very highly for what they've done.
Frank Kaiser fought in both World War II and Korea. He's among the war veterans who gather every year at the Korean War Memorial.
We're also here on a very special Memorial Day, of course, to remember our other fallen comrades from other wars. You can't help but make the connection from one to the other. We all know what's happening in the world today since 9/11. It's a changed place.
These war veterans worry about the increased tension in Korea.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, very concerned about that. We don't want to go back there. We were there one time, and that's enough.
I hate to see another Korean War. Definitely, not another Korean War. You know, we lost too many people there.
35,000 Americans died in the Korean War. The veterans in blue coats call themselves the Chosen Few because they survived an epic battle at the Chosin Reservoir nearly 50 years ago. So brutal, they rarely speak of their experience. Over the years, they formed close friendships with one another. Now in their 70s, they spend part of each Memorial Day visiting the grave sites of friends who have died. Now, there are dozens of Memorial Day services all set for tomorrow, including a 10 a.m. at Willamette National Cemetery and a noon at the Vietnam Memorial. We'll have that complete list for you tonight at 5:30. Nancy, back to you.
Thank you, Kelly. Oregon State Police say they were busy with traffic accidents around the state yesterday and Friday, but so far today the highways are quiet. Friday there was a triple fatal accident on Highway 58 east of Oak Ridge near Eugene. Yesterday 8 people were injured in a head-on crash on Highway 26 about a half-mile west of Government Camp. The highway was closed for over 3 hours, and near Cascade Locks a Union Pacific train hit a truck. A passenger in the truck died at the scene. The other was taken by life flight to a local hospital.
Israel took a major step toward peace with the Palestinians today. The Israeli cabinet approved the so-called roadmap to peace backed by the United States. It's the first time the Israelis have recognized the Palestinians' right to establish an independent state. The roadmap envisions a Palestinian state by 2005. The Israelis say the Palestinians must call off terrorists and militia. And conservatives in the Israeli government are upset about a provision that dismantles illegal Jewish settlements. The Palestinians say they worry that the Israelis won't actually implement the roadmap plan. White House officials say plans could change, but for now, President Bush is scheduled to visit Egypt and Jordan in June to promote the peace plan.
U.S. intelligence reports say al-Qaeda operatives in Iran were behind the suicide bombings in Saudi Arabia earlier this month. And there are reports the Bush administration has cut off contact with Iran. Jennifer Johnson has details from Washington.
According to U.S. intelligence reports, al-Qaeda operatives in Iran are behind the May 12 suicide bombings in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. 3 housing compounds were blown up, killing 34 people, including 8 Americans. A Saudi security force official tells NBC News the global head of al-Qaeda, Saif el-Adel, is believed responsible for the Riyadh bombings and is now in Iran being protected by the Revolutionary Guard.
There's no question that the Iranians represent a threat, and they continue to be major supporters of terrorism, developing weapons of mass
Look, the Post says a meeting on that is planned for Tuesday at the White House. But some in Congress are saying, hold on.
I think before we go off half-cocked in destabilizing Iran, we should be a little, we spend some real time thinking about that.
The Iranian government says they are committed to fighting Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda network.
They are a very dangerous organization. There is no way that Iranians would support Al-Qaeda because they have been fighting with Al-Qaeda before even Americans would engage with them.
The U.S. Embassy in Riyadh reopened Sunday. The Saudis say they're not in favor of any plan to destabilize Iran, but the Bush administration says it has made it clear that Iran needs to stop harboring al-Qaeda operatives. A senior Bush administration official says the U.S. does have channels of communication open with Iran and is waiting to see what that government plans to do about al-Qaeda terrorists operating in their country. In Washington, Jennifer Johnson, KGW Northwest, News Channel 8.
And now to Iraq. A missile left over from Saddam Hussein's regime exploded in Baghdad today, killing 3 people and wounding several others. This is the aftermath of that blast caught on home video. The explosion happened when some locals were trying to remove Iraqi surface-to-air missiles that had been hidden in a car workshop. Shrapnel from one missile hit another, and it exploded too, igniting a fire.
When the USS Nassau pulls into port in North Carolina tomorrow, one of its sailors will be missing. 23-year-old Petty Officer Dwayne Williams fell overboard Friday while playing football on the flight deck. He plunged 70 feet into the Atlantic Ocean, and rescuers were not able to find his body. The ship has been at sea for 9 months as part of the war against Iraq.
Security will be tight at tonight's Memorial Day concert in Washington, D.C. This is last night's rehearsal. Police say more officers than usual are on duty for the gathering at the U.S. Capitol building, and a special weapons team is working around the clock there. The National Symphony Orchestra is in honor of Americans serving in the war against terrorism.
The Taiwanese government says 12 more people have died of SARS, but the number of new cases has dropped. And today, members of the Taiwan Herbal Medicine Association held a video conference with representatives from China to share information on how to combat SARS. They believe SARS symptoms can be cured by herbal medicine and acupuncture. Taiwan has the world's 3rd highest SARS toll after China and Hong Kong. Cab drivers in Singapore are getting battle kits stuffed with supplies to help stop the spread of SARS. The kits include thermometers, face masks, a bottle of hand disinfectant, and alcohol wipes. The drivers use them to protect themselves from the deadly virus. Most Singapore drivers have their temperatures taken at the start of each shift and their cabs disinfected every time they fill their fuel tanks.
Virus-carrying visitors are moving to Oregon. Health experts say the West Nile virus will soon appear in our state thanks to mosquitoes. And your garden could be a breeding ground. News Channel 8's John Flick is here now with ways to stop the spread.
Carl, the West Nile virus can cause flu-like results, and in rare cases it can kill. The warmer climate's coming and people getting into their gardens, so watch out for standing water.
Beautiful. Let's get this one, shall we, Katie Bird? Mama, okay, here we go.
It's the gardener's goal.
Oh, that's gorgeous, isn't it?
Finding the perfect plant or flower.
Those will be cute somewhere.
Allie Anlicker is stocking up for summer. Far from her mind is the West Nile virus.
I think it's not in the Pacific Northwest, and I don't have to worry about it.
Well, think again.
So it's very, very likely we will see it here in Oregon this summer.
Experts say it appears we may get some virus-carrying visitors. The disease is moving west. Your garden may be a favored destination. Standing water is mosquito paradise.
Things like rain gutters that might be sources of mosquito larvae, bird baths that you haven't paid any attention to, the bucket in the corner, the wheelbarrow that never got turned over.
The mosquito life cycle is about 7 days from laying eggs to hatching. To break that cycle, dump any standing water. If you have a pond, think about products.
And it's all based upon the surface area you're treating.
There are mosquito killers out there, from these donut-shaped pesticides to those you spray. Counties across Oregon have already done spraying of their own, a preventative measure even though serious illness or death from the virus are rare. Still, it's about stopping the spread.
We do have a bird bath, so I'm going to obviously have to watch that. Here we go.
Something Allie will keep in mind as she builds a bountiful garden. And the virus is most dangerous to the elderly, but again, health experts say serious illness or death is rare. Back to you.
All right, John, we hope all those tips help. Thanks.
Graduation at Yale is a bit tense this weekend when News Channel 8 continues. Find out why the campus is full of all this extra security.
Plus, this cruise ship never left port. There was a deadly accident on board.
And 50 years after one of the greatest feats of the 20th century, there is a celebration for the men who were the first to climb Mount Everest.
And our Bruce Sussman in the First Alert Storm Center. We got a couple of showers out there right now. Let's show you First Alert 3D Doppler and see east of the Cascades. That's where most of the action is. I'll have a look at your Memorial Day forecast when we come back.
I worked the ice storms of 79 and 80 and the floods of 96. And the crews are still talking about the Columbus Day storm. And I think the solution to all this jawing about our future isn't much different. Get out there, clear the junk up that needs to be cleared, and keep the juice flowing. Hey, it's not like there's 3 inches of ice on the line.
Portland General Electric. We do this every day.
105.9 The River, first class rock. 105.9 The River, first class rock.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
We can't take him to the coast with us. You mind?
The coast, huh?
Yeah. This is where we're gonna be. There's his acupuncturist.
Hey, I've never taken care of a weasel before.
It's a ferret.
If you guys have to do duties, just let me know. Have a great time. See ya.
Why wait? Fly Southwest Airlines with everyday fun fares as low as $49 each way. So get packing.
Hey.
You are now free to move about the country.
Most states prohibit showing large breasts on television. Unless, of course, it's on a sandwich. The Big Charbroiled Chicken Sandwich. With a quarter pound of chicken, it's one of the biggest chicken sandwiches in the world. New at Carl's Jr.
It's gonna rain?
Yeah, I just heard it on KEX. Where did you hear that?
I heard it on KEX.
Did you hear they caught that guy?
Really? Where'd you hear that?
I just heard it on KEX.
Depend on us. News Radio 1190 KEX.
Now, back to Nancy Francis and Carl Click on Northwest News Channel 8.
In news beyond the Northwest, vacation plans turned into chaos this morning on a cruise ship in Miami. An explosion in the engine room of this Norwegian cruise line killed 2 crew members. 20 others were injured, 5 of them critically before the flames were extinguished. All 3,400 passengers were evacuated. None of them was hurt. Fire officials, Coast Guard, and Miami police are investigating.
The devastation caused by a massive earthquake in Algeria last week will take months to repair. Buildings in the town of Corso, near the epicenter of that quake, fell like dominoes. Residents of the devastated town are angry with the authorities' response to the earthquake victims. Locals claim that they weren't given any help to find the survivors. Now, they blame the government for not maintaining acceptable building standards. The official death toll from Wednesday's earthquake stands at 2,047, with over 8,000 people injured.
Wednesday's explosion at Yale University prompted officials to beef up security for this weekend's graduation there. Motorcycle officers, along with search dogs, patrolled the campus. Backpacks and other large bags were not permitted. Graduates and parents didn't seem to mind the inconvenience. Wednesday's explosion rocked a campus building, causing heavy damage to several classrooms. There were no injuries, though, and police have not named any suspects. They're circulating 2 sketches of unidentified men.
Climbers who conquered Mount Everest celebrated the 50th anniversary of the first ascent there today. Nearly 4,000 people gathered in Kathmandu to welcome their heroes. The climbers received a traditional Nepalese welcome with dancers, singers, and live music. Of course, Sir Edmund Hillary and his Sherpa guide were the first men to stand on the mountain's peak back on May 29th, 1953.
It was a royal wedding, New York style, as former Mayor Rudy Giuliani married his girlfriend of 3 years, Judith Nathan, last night. New York Mayor, the current mayor, Michael Bloomberg, performed the 15-minute ceremony at the mayor's mansion. The couple was married beneath a white tent on the lawn, and the mayor and his new bride were all smiles as they spoke to the media.
I would like to introduce my wife, Mrs. Giuliani. And you can see how fortunate I am, what a lucky man I am.
The bride wore an oyster-colored silk gown by Vera Wang. This is Giuliani's 3rd marriage.
Well, weather's always important on holiday weekends. So far, pretty good, not too bad.
Oh, you're giving me a sort of thumbs up? Is that what I hear?
Yeah, good enough, I guess.
Yeah, good enough. Right, it could be pouring down rain, and we've avoided that for the most part west of the Cascades. I tell you what, we did have a lot of clouds around today, though. Let's show you our sky show from this afternoon. And you can see the gray skies overhead. They never really did anything. You may have seen a sprinkle or two, but that's about all we had today in the Willamette Valley, although we've had a few sprinkles continuing over the Coast Range. We'll show you those in a second. Let's take you outside right now for a live look from our Wells Fargo Center camera. Mainly overcast skies, but a little bit of filtered sunshine making it down to the ground. But it's definitely cooler than it was yesterday. 62 degrees the current temperature, and no rainfall so far, at least not in Portland. Let's show you First Alert Live Doppler 8000 radar. Our live radar beam going around, picking up on a couple of sprinkles over the foothills of the Cascades and then over the Coast Range as well. A few sprinkles or a little bit of light shower activity right here. But for the most part, it's dry tonight, just kind of gray outside. Let's take a look at what's going on as far as our high temperatures today. Made it up to 66 in Portland, so that's pretty good. 63 in Salem and east of the Cascades, a lot cooler than yesterday. We had 90s all over the place yesterday, but more clouds and cooler air moved in behind a storm front, so temperatures in the 70s most places east of the Cascades. The lows this morning down to 54 in Portland. Salem, you dropped to 52 to start out the day, and then in eastern Oregon we had some 60s for the lows. And here's what's going on. Basically, we've got a weak system that's moving our way. You can kind of see this very distinct line here out over the ocean. This is kind of lifting to the north at this point. So this means basically a gray Memorial Day, a lot like today was. And there's a chance that we could see a few sprinkles. But all in all, it'll be a dry day. I think most of the sprinkle activity would take place in the morning. And then Tuesday, we'll see this whole thing lift to the north of us, and that's when we start to warm up. It figures the day after the holiday weekend. Here's a look at what's going on First Alert Futurecast. We'll kind of time things out. This afternoon, showing those showers over the Coast Range. That's what the green indicates, and you see the 4 o'clock time frame there. Then as we go into tomorrow morning, again, could be some sprinkles around. You see Futurecast says there will be. And then as we go through the rest of the day, just kind of cloudy skies, not a lot going on. There might be a few sun breaks, but generally speaking, gray. Then as we go into Tuesday, that's when our weather really starts to improve, and you notice our skies start to clear out. Our temperatures reflect that in the 5-day forecast. Our forecast for the coast tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a chance of a shower or two, especially in the morning. For the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy for the north part and maybe a sprinkle, partly cloudy for those of you down around Corvallis. So it's warmer tomorrow in Corvallis than Kelso. 71 in Corvallis, just 65 in Kelso, and the difference is more sun breaks to the south. And that's the way it'll be really all across Oregon tomorrow. For the Cascades, a chance of sprinkles, mostly cloudy skies, and for the Gorge, partly cloudy tomorrow. Could be a few sprinkles as well. Central and eastern Oregon, partly cloudy for you. Temperatures coming back up a bit into the mid to upper 70s and 80 degrees for a high in the Dalles. Now tonight, some partial clearing and a chance of a shower. We saw some of those over the Coast Range. And Memorial Day, a chance of sprinkles. Otherwise, mostly cloudy conditions. And 69 for a high temperature in Portland and Vancouver. So still pretty comfortable. And honestly, a little bit warmer than it's been today. 74 for the high temperature on Tuesday. And then Wednesday looks like we might get a brief shot of rain. Well, you know, it's Memorial Day weekend, and I could not resist giving you some Memorial Day trivia. This is the average chance of rain on Memorial Day in Portland. And it's like looking at the long-term records here. Is it 10%, 25%, 35%, or 60%? Think about that and don't answer now, Carl.
I was going to say, but if you had put 100% on there, we would have bit. You know, with our pessimistic
I almost
attitudes.
did put like 95%, but that's not true.
We'll see the real answer in a little bit, right?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Oregon Shakespeare Festival gets national kudos. Coming up, we'll tell you how the Ashland Theater Company earned its praise.
We're also going to hear from Portland's top FBI agent as he prepares to retire.
Plus, on this Memorial Day weekend, we'll remember the life of a Portland native who made the ultimate sacrifice for his country while in Iraq.
This News Channel 8 segment is brought to you by America's Tire Company.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. America's Tire Company.
America's Tire Company offers low prices on every tire every day, including major brands like Goodyear and Dunlop. Low prices, every tire, every day. It's all about price. It's all about service. It's all about saving you money. Low prices, every tire, every day. America's Tire Company.
Throughout the Northwest and around the clock, no one covers the news that affects your life like NWCN and Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
My child's life reveals itself to me in quick glimpses and perfect moments. I want those moments to be filled with life, not sickness, not treatments. But if the need should ever arise, I'll know I made the right choice for him.
Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon and its members are a community of people who support each other's health care. Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon. It's for your health.
100 years in the making. 100 hours to get 0% financing for 60 months or up to $4,000 cash back on America's best-selling brand of SUVs during your Northwest Ford Store's Sale of the Century this Memorial Day only. That's 100 hours to save big on Ford Explorer, Expedition, even Excursion with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $4,000 cash back. Deals this good only come around every 100 years. So get to the Sale of the Century this Memorial Day only at your Northwest Ford stores. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Hey guys, Domino's is here.
Sorry. Kids, give this man some air, please. What day is it, sir?
Free pizza day.
And the next day?
Free pizza day.
Fascinating. And the next day?
Free pizza day.
Kids, your dad's gonna be just fine.
Now, every day is free pizza day at Domino's. Get a medium one-topping pizza free when you buy a large Domino's pizza at menu price any day.
Sir, how many pizzas am I holding?
2.
He's good.
Get the door. It's 2-for-1 pizza days.
A Portland native was one of 3 men who died during a grenade attack at Camp Pennsylvania in Kuwait. It happened during the early days of the war with Iraq. Tonight, Joe Donlan brings us the story of Major Greg Stone.
Of all the images from the war, this is considered by most to be the defining picture.
You see, they didn't mention anything about his legs.
But not for the family of Major Greg Stone. This is the image they will remember from Time magazine.
The one picture of him, which I carry around with me all the time, is the picture after he was hit with a grenade. And that was the only picture that I could find, and that was our last picture of him.
Greg Stone was Tammy Hall's big brother, and big is how he will be remembered by Tammy and the youngest child in the family, Frank Lindsay.
When he was in high school and he graduated, I was in kindergarten. So, of course, I've got that perspective of this guy being larger than life when she was, even when I was an adult.
Stone was a commanding figure in his family. Growing up in Northeast Portland, he always had a love for aviation. He graduated from Benson High School and took his passion for flying to the Air Force. Along the way, he graduated from Oregon State University and embarked on a military career that spanned 20 years, leading up to Operation Iraqi Freedom.
And he said, I've done all these different things, I've had all this training, never seen combat before, and I could, 99% chance I will see it this time. And this is like my final exam. That's what he said.
Major Greg Stone did see combat, but chances are it wasn't what he expected. It wasn't what anyone expected. Stationed at Camp Pennsylvania in Kuwait, he was inside an officer's tent when a grenade rolled in and exploded. As the smoke cleared, a U.S. soldier was accused in the attack, Sergeant Hassan Akbar, an American Muslim who reportedly disagreed with the war on Iraq. Stone survived the initial blast, but died from his injuries 3 days later.
There's a face and there's a name to who is supposedly responsible, and that makes it harder. Because if he was in an ambush, it's a little more abstract. He's still gone, and that doesn't change that. It won't bring him back. It doesn't matter how he died, but this way there's somebody tangible to that we know is responsible, and it's easier to fall into dwelling on that, dwelling on what this one person took away from our family.
The United States and our allies have prevailed.
And now the latest images, the triumphant president addressing the nation. The emotional homecomings. It's too much for Frank Lindsay to watch.
Right now, I'm more upset that he's not coming home, and that I can't be part of these great homecomings. And I don't begrudge any of these families that get the word that, their son or daughter made it out of there, they were wounded, but they survived. I mean, those are great stories, but they're also very hard to hear.
This was Greg Stone's homecoming. 700 people attended his memorial service in Boise, Idaho, where he lived with his fiancée and his 2 sons. He was buried at Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. His family says Greg seemed to know he may not come back, things he said and did right after this picture was taken at the airport as he headed for the Middle East.
And, he said goodbye to everybody, and he saved my mom for last, and he hugged her. And he started walking down the walkway to get onto the airplane, and he came back and hugged her again. And that's not like Greg. So I think he knew.
Frank Lindsay will always cherish an email Greg sent him the day the war started.
He said that he and I had let too many years slip by, so, and that's something that he was learning in his time over there, is that time goes by really quickly, and he was going to make it a point to not let any more time escape us when he got back.
I still don't believe it. I still don't believe he's dead. I mean, I went to the burial and everything, but I don't believe it. I keep waiting for somebody to call and say, oh, we've made a mistake, he's alive.
The state of Idaho will remember Major Greg Stone with a silver medallion. It will mint about 10,000 of those coins featuring Stone's likeness. Nancy?
Thank you, Carl. You can see more stories about the men and women from the Northwest who served in the war tomorrow night right here on News Channel 8. We will be rebroadcasting Northwest Soldiers, Stories from the Front, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. It's an hour-long special on the lives and ultimate sacrifices of the soldiers and their families. Again, that's tomorrow night at 6. Obviously, for many, this is more than just a 3-day weekend. Next on News Channel 8, we'll visit some of today's Memorial Day ceremonies around Portland. Plus, we'll show you what you can do in your garden to help the experts keep West Nile virus out of the Northwest. And we all know about the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, right? Well, now the rest of America is learning just how special it is. Those stories and a lot more coming up.
Usually, when you see a low payment, the fine print says that the price is only on 1 or 2 leftover cars from last year, and to get it, you have to put thousands down. But when Bob Lanfear's Beaverton Kia advertises a $149 a month payment, the fine print says it's on a brand new 2003 Kia Rio with 0 down and a guarantee that if we don't have one, we'll get one for you. So, for a brand new Kia Rio for only $149 a month and 0 down,
just buy Bob and save.
Olinger Travel Homes is celebrating the grand opening of our new Wood Village location. That means simply unbeatable grand opening savings on the most trusted RV brands. Over 15 acres of simply unbeatable savings at our Hillsboro and Wood Village locations. No one makes RVing more affordable than Olinger. See just how simply unbeatable we can be during our grand opening celebration in Hillsboro and our new Wood Village location.
You want a new mattress, a name brand mattress, and you only want to spend $99? Then come to Sleep Country's $99 mattress event. Through Memorial Day, get a Simmons, Sealy, Spring Air, or Pacific mattress, twin, full, queen, or king for just $99 each piece when you buy the complete set. But it all ends Memorial Day. Guaranteed comfort, best selection, lowest price.
Old Country Buffet introduces Barbecue Night.
There are tons of ribs.
Tasty, tempting barbecue chicken and beef. And we're featuring baby back ribs.
You can get a whole big plate, bigger than you.
You can even choose your own sauce.
I love ribs. Then why don't you marry him? My face was a mess when we got home. You're gonna need 1,000 napkins.
Unlimited barbecue for a limited time. Thursday and Saturday nights at Old Country Buffet. Great choice.
Any way you look at it, now's the right time to get a powerful, stylish Nissan. It's Memorial Day savings time at Nissan. Get as low as 0.9% APR financing or up to $1,500 cash back on lots of thrilling new Nissans. Hurry to your Nissan dealer for Memorial Day savings, because June 2nd, time's up.
Welcome back to News Channel 8. Here are today's headlines at 5:30. U.S. intelligence says al-Qaeda operatives in Iran are responsible for the bombings in Saudi Arabia back on May 12th. Israel makes a major step toward peace. Its cabinet approved the U.S.-backed roadmap to peace today with some conditions. But it is the first time Israel has recognized the Palestinians' right to establish an independent state. And veterans of the Korean War hold a special ceremony in Portland to remember their fellow soldiers. I'm Carl Click. Welcome back.
And I'm Nancy Francis. The veterans gathered today to honor their friends who died either during the war or since coming home. Kelly Love joins us live with their story. Kelly.
Well, Nancy, the majority of the veterans' services are set for tomorrow. We're going to show you that list in just a minute. But today at Willamette National Cemetery, the Korean War veterans gathered at the memorial they built. And they honored those who died in the war and those who have died since coming home. They paid homage to all veterans of all wars, including the 180 men and women who died in the Persian Gulf War.
I honor them very highly for what they've done. It's an entirely different war than what we fought 60 years ago.
3 young men killed in the Gulf War are now buried at Willamette National Cemetery. Brandon Tobler, Cedric Bruns, and Aaron Contreras. Now, Brandon's grave is located next to his grandfather's grave. He served in World War II. Nancy, back to you.
Thank you, Kelly. There are a number of Memorial Day services in the metro area tomorrow. Here's a list of some of them. Veterans will gather once again at the Willamette National Cemetery for remembrances. The cemetery is in southeast Portland. The program begins at 10 a.m. A Memorial Day event at the Oregon Vietnam Veterans Living Memorial at the Hoyt Arboretum begins at noon. OMSI will host a tolling of a lost boats bell ringing memorial at 1:30. The museum is on Southeast Water Avenue. And in Vancouver, ceremonies at the Vancouver Barracks Cemetery begin at 11 a.m. Congressman Brian Baird and Vancouver Mayor Royce Pollard will be among the speakers.
Well, health experts say the West Nile virus will soon reach Oregon. As the weather warms and your garden becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes carrying that disease. News Channel 8's John Flick is live now in our newsroom with how we can help stop that spread. John?
Carl, serious illness or death from West Nile are rare. Still, there is a big push to stop it from spreading, and there is something simple you can do in your own backyard to help. That's right. Watch out for standing water. Mosquitoes lay eggs in those environments, which can hatch within a week. Experts say the virus is moving west and could be in Oregon this summer. It can cause flu-like results and, in rare cases, death. There are pesticides you can use to kill mosquitoes, even products to use if you have a pond in your yard. Experts say while doing yard work or gardening, just keep in mind that standing water.
Things like rain gutters that might be sources of mosquito larvae, bird baths that you haven't paid any attention to, the bucket in the corner, the wheelbarrow that never got turned over, the tarp that's all bundled up with a whole little pile of water in there. All of those can be sources of mosquitoes.
And the virus is most dangerous to the elderly, but again, health experts say serious illness or death are rare. Nancy, back to you.
Thank you, John. Oregon State Police say the highways have been quiet today. Yesterday, they were busy dealing with major accidents around the state. There was a triple fatal accident on Highway 58 east of Oak Ridge near Eugene. 8 people were injured in a head-on crash on Highway 26 about a half-mile west of Government Camp. The highway was closed for over 3 hours. And near Cascade Locks, a Union Pacific train hit a truck. A passenger in the truck died at the scene. The other was taken by life flight to a local hospital. Time magazine calls the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland one of the 5 best regional theaters in the country. It's second only to Chicago's Goodman Theater. Time traveled the country looking for theater groups who bring new plays and artists to the national stage and who also serve their local audiences. Time says the Shakespeare Festival is one of the few theater groups that stay true to the classic repertory format. The other top theaters were in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Minneapolis, and Costa Mesa, California. 2 local artists spent part of the day drawing characters for a good cause. They featured a number of Oregonians in their face value exhibit. Some are well known, like Portland Mayor Vera Katz and Oregon's Governor Ted Kulongoski. And then there was KGW's Matt Zaffino, Brenda Braxton, and our crime specialist, C.W. Jensen. Peter X. O'Brien and Steve Doris are selling their drawings and donating their proceeds to the Tribute to Honor. That is a support group for firefighters and police.
You just take a feature and exaggerate it and still try to maintain a likeness and hopefully not make the person cry.
Now, Doris drew Tanya Harding on skates and boxing gloves. You can take a look at the caricatures until 7 o'clock tonight. They're showing at the Policemen's Athletic Association. That's on Southeast 6th and Alder. One of Oregon's top crime fighters is calling it quits. FBI Special Agent Charles Matthews has had a busy couple of years in Oregon. Next on News Channel 8, he'll give us some of his impressions and a professional secret. In sports, history in the making today at the Indy 500. One of the drivers was trying for his third straight win at the Brickyard. Joe Becker will have highlights.
And a little later, we'll take you to the Rally for America.
They're true American heroes. Now hear Northwest soldiers and their families talk about the honor and sacrifices of the war in Iraq.
Northwest Soldiers, Stories from the Front. An encore presentation, Monday night at 6.
Get the summer rolling at Toyota's summer event, where great value begins with Toyota quality and featuring sensational summer values like financing as low as 0% APR on the truly powerful Tundra or the tough Tacoma, or get $750 cash back on Tacoma or $2,000 cash back on the iForce V8 Tundra. Get to Toyota's summer event and start some fun.
Mattress Gallery's biggest sale of the year is almost over.
The giant sleep sale ends Monday night.
Save on more twins and fulls.
Save on more queens and kings.
Save on the best brands like Simmons and Sealy.
Even save on premium Stearns & Foster and Chatham & Wells.
Mattress Gallery has more items on sale than at any other time.
Plus, get free pillows and free financing.
But hurry, Mattress Gallery's giant sleep sale ends Monday night at 9.
A sale this big can only happen once a year.
The Mattress Gallery. We take your sleep seriously.
A 3-hour flight with my boss and my boss's boss. It's a great opportunity to wonder if my breath is bad. Teeth aren't so white. No problem. Thanks to Crest Whitening Plus Scope. It's got Crest Whitening power plus new cool peppermint flavor Scope. So I'll be wearing an icy fresh white smile.
Folks, we're expecting a 2-hour weather delay.
Forever. Crest Whitening Plus Scope. Now in 2 great flavors.
Just announced the Pontiac Memorial Day Performance Event with a special bonus offer on the Grand Am SC Solid Value, featuring Performance Shift Automatic, aluminum wheels, power windows, locks, mirrors, and more. Turn your Memorial Day bonus into a performance bonus. Now through June 2nd, get a $500 Memorial Day bonus plus 0% APR for 60 months on the Grand Am SC Solid Value. Or choose $3,500 total cash back. Take a 24-hour test drive at your local Pontiac dealer.
You have seen Portland's highest-ranking FBI agent interviewed in connection with the Longo family murders, the missing Oregon City girls, and other high-profile cases.
But tomorrow it is all over for Charles Matthews. He is retiring. News Channel 8's Randy Neves talked with him about his busy 2 years here in Oregon.
But you can kind of see the aging process that goes on.
33 years as an FBI employee have made Charles Matthews a master of discretion.
I've got to be more restrained in comments. You're not privy to, and I can't make you privy to. I can't go there.
It started back when Hoover was in charge. Matthews was a lawyer working for Kentucky Fried Chicken, thinking about the FBI as a way to spruce up his resume.
You know, it sounded intriguing and exciting and fun.
And if all the excitement at FBI Milwaukee, Baltimore, D.C., San Francisco, or New Orleans wasn't enough, Matthews surely found it here, in the twilight of his career.
We're still concentrating in the San Francisco area, but actually,
there was convicted family killer Christian Longo, suspected family killer Edward Morris, the ongoing terrorism case of the Portland Seven, and most heavily scrutinized of all, the murders of Oregon City's Ashley Pond and Miranda Gaddis.
The remains discovered yesterday as the body of Miranda Gaddis.
It certainly was the most high-profile matter that I've been involved in personally.
As tension mounted, covert investigations gave way to public pleas for help.
We needed public involvement in finding Longo. We needed public involvement in helping us, you know, find out what happened to the 2 girls in Oregon City, and once all that comes out, I think you're going to find that the media played a very, very instrumental role in the solution of that case.
His only unfinished business is anti-terrorism, a mission handed to him directly in this photo.
I've never had a president to tell me what my job was before.
But he'll leave that to his successor and in the hands of federal attorneys prosecuting local Muslims on terrorism charges.
You know, our mission is to detect and deter terrorism. That's our #1 priority.
Who's next? Who's under watch? What secrets lurk behind the prosecution?
I'll just kind of pass.
Matthews will only reveal one parting professional secret.
If the chicken bone is dark, it's been frozen before.
And so ends the career of Special Agent in Charge, Charlie Matthews.
Well, that's something anyway.
Yeah. Well, Matthews is from Kentucky, but he'll retire and live here in the Portland area.
The FBI will likely name a successor sometime in the coming week.
And we're going to move on to sports. Joe Becker standing by. Some excitement in Dallas tonight for the playoff game had nothing to do with basketball.
That's right. They had to evacuate the building before the playoff game. We'll tell you about that coming up in sports. Plus, we've got highlights of the Indy 500, and it was a wild one indeed. Sports rolling toward your TV screens next.
Seconds ago.
The Lexus ES. An automobile so luxurious we thought of everything. Even this special lease. $399 a month for 36 months, with $3,049 due at signing on approved credit. See Lexus of Portland.
You ready, my man?
I was born ready.
Hey, Rick, sure is getting close to lunchtime, huh?
It sure is, Jim.
Any ideas?
Well, Subway's got something delicious, like the new Chipotle Southwest Steak and Cheese. Sliced steak topped with melted cheese and a new Chipotle sauce for an added spicy kick. Served hot on fresh baked gourmet bread. You know, I can go for one right now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Excellent work, my friend.
Yeah.
Subway, eat fresh.
Little boy asks his neighbors why they're always working on their yard. Neighbor looks up. Nothing more relaxing. Nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty. Boy's dad asks how they manage it all. Neighbor nods across the yard. Nothing runs like a deer. John Deere lawn and garden tractors. Durability, precision, versatility, and exclusive support for everyone who puts more into their yard and expects more out of their tractor.
Find out which John Deere is right for you at your authorized dealer.
Saturn announces the 24-hour test drive. Get a 2003 Saturn Ion L Series or View at 0% APR financing for 5 years. For restrictions, see your retailer.
They're true American heroes. Now hear Northwest soldiers and their families talk about the honor and sacrifices of the war in Iraq.
Northwest Soldiers, Stories from the Front. An encore presentation, Monday night at 6.
This News Channel 8 segment is brought to you by the 2003 U.S. Women's Open Championship.
This July, an historic battle will take place on the fairways of Pumpkin Ridge when Annika Sorenstam, Kari Webb, and defending champion Julie Inkster each vie for a third U.S. Women's Open Championship. Will one of them get her third win, or will a new name emerge to claim her first? The 2003 U.S. Women's Open Championship. Call now for tickets. All children will be admitted free with a ticketed adult.
Now, Joe Becker with News Channel 8 Sports.
The Indy 500 was one of the closest in the history of the race, and two teammates battled to the wire. Gilles de Ferran and Helio Castro-Neves, who is bidding to win his third straight Indy 500. After poor attendance figures throughout the month, most of the seats were filled for the big race. The only woman in the field, Sarah Fisher, wiped out on lap 24. She crashed into the wall, but she was okay. Meanwhile, Michael Andretti passed Scott Dixon to take the lead on lap 33, but 61 laps later, Michael had to pit. His dad was watching a broken piece in the throttle, and he was done for the day. On lap 170, de Ferran made a nice move to get past Castro-Neves. De Ferran had the lead. Robbie Gordon had a gearbox failure. He had to leave on lap 169, tough break. Scary crash near the end of the race. It's Dan Weldon. Goes into the wall and gets airborne. We'll take another look from a different angle. Obviously some scary stuff, but thankfully the news is good. And Weldon was A-OK. In fact, you can see him in his race car there waving a bit. In the end, it was de Ferran and Castro-Neves, teammates with the Penske team, and de Ferran held on to win by 0.3 of a second. Castro-Neves so close to being the first driver in history for 3 straight 500 wins. What a moment for de Ferran.
I felt everything right now. I cried, I smiled, I laughed.
I've been confused, clear. My mind is all over the place. It's really, it's hard to describe, you know, what you feel when you fight so much for something that you love, you know, and you finally accomplish what you really wanted. It's an unbelievable feeling.
In the NBA playoffs, they had to evacuate the arena in Dallas just before the playoff game between the Spurs and Mavericks. The capacity crowd had to leave the arena after a fire alarm went off. Turns out there was a small kitchen fire and the sprinklers came on. It took officials a few minutes to figure out what was going on. The game still hadn't started. The series is 2-1 in favor of the Spurs. What's going on with the Yankees? The fans are eating hot dogs. That's normal. But the Yankees are losing, and that is not normal. Greg Myers hit a 2-run double, and Josh Phelps also drove in a pair of runs. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees 5-3. The Yankees went 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position. And the Jays sweep the Yankees 4 straight in New York. It's also lost 7 in a row for the first time since 1986. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are headed in the opposite direction. They won again today, 5-1 over Milwaukee. Fred McGriff here homers. Kevin Brown gets the victory. Dodgers have won 10 straight. Checking the scoreboard. Cleveland over Boston 6-4. Nomar Garciaparra doubled, so he has a 25-game hitting streak. And that Minnesota-Seattle score is from last night. That game's just underway up in Seattle. Tonight on Sports Sunday at 11:35, we'll take a look at the Oregon Project, an American marathon training program run by Nike. Portland's Dan Brown's the U.S. marathon champ and one of 5 runners in the project. The long-term goal of the project is to raise the level of competition and success among American marathoning. The project's the brainchild of Tom Clark, Nike president of New Ventures, and is coached by running legend Alberto Salazar.
Joe, it's a long-term process, you know, 5-year program, and so we're being very patient with the runners, trying to develop them slowly, and so far only one has run the marathon, but a pretty good record there. The one guy that ran one is the only native-born American to win a major U.S. marathon in the last 5 years. So.
What's it like being a part of this Oregon Project?
Well, it's great. You know, I mean, they really take care of us, and they do a lot of very unique training, and it's fantastic.
We'll have that story for tonight, Sports Sunday. What a week at the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas. First, there was Annika Sorenstam's classy performance this week, and then Kenny Perry, a 61 yesterday. Today was Justin Leonard working some magic. He was amazing. Shot a 29 on the front 9. Here he is on the 9th hole. Terrific shot. Backs it up. Ball winds up just inches away from going in. Leonard won the British Open a few years back. Still can play the game. He made shots all day. Birdied the 17th hole, giving him a chance to shoot a 59. He needed a chip on 18, just past the hole, and then he missed the putt coming back for bogey. He shot a 61. He finished 6 shots behind the leader, Kenny Perry, who finished the tournament at 19 under par. And the ladies playing in the Corning Classic in New York, and Beth Daniel was eating up a hot dog, and Julie Inkster was eating up the course. Inkster shot a 10 under 62, tying the lowest final round score by a winner in the history of the LPGA Tour. She beat Lori Kane by 4 strokes. Her total of 24 under shattered the tournament record. Her 29th career victory, 17th come from behind win, and the lowest round of her Hall of Fame career.
She was just in Portland recently for an event promoting the U.S. Open. She's really
right.
nice.
And in fact, she won the U.S. Open last year.
Yeah, and she'll defend her championship at Pumpkin Ridge.
Right.
Thank you, Joe.
Campers got a little rain overnight, but so far today it's been clear.
Yeah, one more day of the holiday weekend left. Coming up, Bruce Sussman is going to have the forecast.
Get ready for the streets of Portland to light up the night as Tracy Berry and Joe Donlin host the PGE Solve Starlight Parade, presented by Southwest Airlines. The excitement begins Saturday night at 9. Brought to you by your official station of fun, News Channel 8.
The Hyundai Sonata, ranked most appealing entry midsize car. More standard features than a Honda Accord LX, including a V6 engine. All for over $1,700 less when comparably equipped. Add in America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and you win. Test drive the Hyundai Sonata starting at just $15,539 at your Hyundai dealer. Don't miss big Memorial Day savings. Get a 2003 Sonata with $1,000 cash back now through June 2nd.
One pizza, one pizzone.
What's a pizzone?
The Pizzone. It's back at Pizza Hut. Now get any large pizza for your family and get a pizzone of your own for only $2.99.
What's a pizzone?
It's a big taste in a big folded pizza crust filled with cheese and luscious ingredients like pepperoni or fresh veggies, plus marinara sauce. Just $2.99 with any large pizza at regular price. Or get a pizzone alone for just $5.99. No one makes the whole family happy like Pizza Hut.
So this is a pizzone.
In more than 28 countries worldwide, and for more than a decade on Broadway, it's the one musical that's taken theatergoers on the crusade of a lifetime. The musical with songs from the heart that reach straight to the heavens. The musical is Les Miserables.
May 27th through June 1st at Keller Auditorium. Get tickets at all Ticketmasters or charge 503-790-ARTS. Part of the Broadway in Portland series, welcomed by K103 and Delta Airlines.
Memorial Day in America. It's a time for families. Lowe's will help you celebrate it with special values. Save $6 on every gallon of Olympic Premium interior and exterior paint. Save $20 on this Wagner Power Painter. Use your Lowe's card store-wide and pay nothing until January 2004 on purchases of $299 or more. Begin this Memorial Day at Lowe's and celebrate all summer long.
The U.S. Women's Open Championship coming to Pumpkin Ridge in July. This News Channel 8 segment is brought to you by K103, continuous soft rock favorites.
A blend of soft rock favorites. 103.3 K103 FM. It's Soft Rock K103. A blend of soft rock favorites. 103.3 K103 FM.
From the First Alert Storm Team, this is Bruce Sussman with News Channel 8 weather.
Well, welcome back on this Sunday. Here's what's going on. A few sprinkles over the Coast Range right now in the Willamette Valley, but most of the action for the second day in a row is right here in northeastern Oregon. First Alert 3D Doppler showing showers and thunderstorms moving from the southwest to the northeast, crossing through the Baker City area and up towards La Grande. You'll probably see some showers and perhaps some thunderstorms developing in the next hour or so, and then this kind of activity continuing until after the sun goes down. In the Willamette Valley, though, it's a different story. Let's take you outside right now. Our Wells Fargo Center camera, gray skies, a few sun breaks, and very calm conditions. Winds 3 miles an hour out at the airport. Temperature 64 degrees right now. It may be mellow around here, but the folks in Texas have had a rough go of it. In Collin County, Texas, 70,000 people without power. You can see trees down all over the place, ripped up by winds hitting 70 to 80 miles an hour. Fences down, and in some cases, pieces of the fence used as projectiles into roofs. A real mess. A piece of the fence sticking out of the roof there in Collin County, Texas. Let's show you satellite and radar together. You can see right here this bright patch of orange and yellow down around Texas. Those are the thunderstorms that caused that wild weather there. Meanwhile, parts of eastern New Mexico also having thunderstorms this afternoon, and up into Montana and Idaho, a lot of thunderstorms developing. We'll keep you up to date if anything too wild happens in those locations. Across the country, very hot in the southwest, 98 in Phoenix, 88 in Salt Lake. Well, look at California in the 60s. So really, the entire West Coast is fairly cool. And for the folks in California, mid-60s, that's really cool for this time of year. High temperatures in our area, 65 here at KGW. Vancouver, you hit 65. And Hillsborough, one of the warmer places, at 69 degrees. Although we did manage to make it into the 70s a few places east of the Cascades, it is a whole lot cooler on both sides of the Cascades than it was yesterday. Now, we have a weak system that's moving our way. It's this pretty well-defined line out over the Pacific moving in from the south. This means a gray Memorial Day for us and just a chance of some sprinkles. But all in all, for the Memorial Day remembrances and things that are going on outdoors, I think you'll be fine tomorrow. It just will be gray outside. Tuesday, that's when we finally see things warming up as this entire batch of moisture, clouds, and rain moves on out of here. First Alert Futurecast showing the changes that are on the way for tomorrow. Notice there's a little bit of green showing up. That indicates a chance for some sprinkles tomorrow morning in the Willamette Valley. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, it's mainly cloudy, but then the clouds clear out late as we go into Tuesday, especially when we'll notice a big improvement, quite a bit of sunshine, and our temperatures warming up. Look at all the clouds clearing out of Washington and Oregon as we go through our Tuesday. So mostly cloudy is the forecast for the coast tomorrow. A chance of a shower or two in the Willamette Valley. Mostly cloudy for the north part. Down south, at least some sun breaks and partly cloudy skies in Corvallis, 71 for the high there. Government Camp will be 59 tomorrow with a chance of sprinkles over the Cascades and mostly cloudy skies. For the Gorge, partly cloudy, especially on the east end, and that's true for eastern Oregon as well. Pretty nice day tomorrow if you're east of the Cascades. 70s, upper 70s, and 80 tomorrow for the Dalles. Tonight, maybe a chance of a shower in the Willamette Valley, really more like sprinkles, and then chance of sprinkles again tomorrow and mostly gray skies. 69 for a high temperature in Portland, so it's a little warmer than today. And then Tuesday, looking good at 74 degrees. Here's our Northwest trivia question. It's Memorial Day trivia. This is the average chance of rain on Memorial Day in Portland. Is it 10%, 25%, 35%, or 60% when we look at the long-term records? What do you guys think?
C.
10.
The answer is C, 35%. So, I mean, that sounds low, but then you think about it, 1 out of 3 Memorial Days, it's raining around here.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds low. That's about right.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right.
People all over the country are observing Memorial Day.
We're going to show you how one Rally for America on the East Coast drew thousands of people.
It's Mervyn's 2-day Memorial Day sale. Everything's on sale, plus 40 to 75% off store-wide specials. Sunday and Monday at Mervyn's.
News Channel 8, named Best Newscast by the Associated Press.
It's here, the 2-day appliance and mattress sale at George Smith Appliance Warehouse. Save 10 to 50% at George Smith on hundreds of top brand refrigerators, washers and dryers, dishwashers, ranges, big screens, and mattresses with delivery 6 days a week. Low prices plus 12 months no interest at the George Smith West Side store off 217 and the East Side store off I-84. The big 2-day sale at George Smith Appliance Warehouse.
This is the latest edition of the Accord. Totally redesigned from the ground up, offering a new level of refinement in style, comfort, power, and safety. Attributes Honda has always been known for. But don't let your eyes deceive you. After all, affordability is also our heritage. Now you can lease a 2003 Accord LX sedan for $239 a month for 36 months.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
Anyone need a break?
Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA, when you've always got to go.
It's steel season at your local steel retailer, and right now you can get 3 great deals. The Steel FS45 brass trimmer is just $139.95. The straight shaft Steel FS55 is under $200. And right now, chainsaws start at just $179.95. Plus, buy select chainsaw and get this woodcutter's kit for just $24.95. Hurry, it's a limited time offer at your participating steel retailer. Are you ready for a steal?
Illinois becomes the first state to place a ban on ephedra. Tonight at 6:30, the Oregon connection that brought that diet supplement into the spotlight. Plus, the Rose City plays a major role at the Cannes Film Festival, and a Portland director is honored for the top movie there. Those stories and more tonight at 6:30.
Thousands of people in West Virginia turned out this weekend to Rally for America. It was the last stop on a Philadelphia-based talk show's Caravan Through the Heartland tour. 12,000 people from all over the country packed Marshall University Stadium. Organizers said the last stop was in honor of former POW Jessica Lynch. The rally featured concerts and a video message from President Bush, and it was broadcast live to U.S. troops all over the world. Thanks for joining us.
That's it for us. Back at 6:30. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching the area's #1 news, Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.